Thank you so much for joining the interview. I'm so excited to talk.
Thanks for having me.
I want to talk about your new film because I have a lot of thoughts. So this film was adapted from a book by Ariana Harvitz, and Martin Scorsese was the one who wanted you to play this role after he read the book in his book club.
I
know. When he reached out, what did he say?
It was very complimentary, so I would be remiss to repeat it.
Please repeat it.
No, it was very nice, but he was just like, I think first of all, like he said that I should read it and that, I would be good in it. And I read it. I had just had my first baby. And so it was a lot. It was really overwhelming. I read it in one sitting. But I was actually in a really good place in my kind of postpartum journey. I didn't struggle in the kind of classic postpartum way. I bonded right away with my son. And so I think because of that, I was able to allow my mind to kind of go to those darker places. I think if I was in a dark place and I read it, I would be too afraid of it. And so it's kind of like turning all the lights on and looking at the monster under the bed or something.
Before we move on, who is in Marty Scorsese's book club?
I know. I don't know.
I mean,
I could just ask.
I think you need to
the
ask.
worst he could say is, I don't feel like telling you.
Yeah. Are you in a book club?
I'm in a soft book club. So we tried to make like an official book, but we're just too different in our tastes.
Back to the film. As I was watching it, it seemed to me sort of like this scream against the current elevation of domestic life and perfect motherhood as sort of the pinnacle of female achievement. What is this film about for you?
It kind of morphs for me. I think that it's definitely about somebody losing her identity and motherhood and rage at not just her husband, but the change of the relationship, the change of the love. But what I really like about it is it's poetry. There's not kind of a single way to look at it. There's like a statement and then breathing room for you to read into what the statement means to you. Everybody I talk to kind of comes away with something different.
How do you view what Grace, your character, is actually going through? Because I've read reviews that say that she has postpartum depression. I read reviews that say that she, is bipolar. I read reviews that say that she has psychosis. I'm wondering, first of all, does it matter? And then how you understood what she is experiencing.
It's another thing that kind of morphed for me and never really felt like one thing. I was pregnant. I was in my second trimester.
When you were filming this?
When I was filming this. And I think that there were certain realities that I couldn't look at. And I spoke to, a postpartum specialist who told me that the number one cause of death in mothers in the first year is suicide. And that obviously went into our thinking about the ending, the forest. What is the forest? What is the fire? Do they find their way back to each other? What does all of it mean? And so I think I saw the forest as more of like a cleansing. And then after I had
we should say at the end, she walks into this burning forest.
Are we supposed to do this? Am I going to ruin the movie for
everybody? I don't know.
Everybody?
You brought it up. That's why I have to be clear on what it is.
I guess I have franchise paranoia, but maybe it's fine.
Franchise paranoia. I think there's not going to be a franchise of this film, but who am I to say?
I would agree with you.
At any rate, she is someone who is very,
she's really depressed.
Yeah.
She's really unhappy. She's really angry. And I think the love that you have for your child, I think sometimes I think that she was so lost that she felt like she was the only thing wrong with her baby and that she was the only thing that could ruin her child. And when I watched it back after having my second, child and actually experiencing postpartum depression. That was a really, really weird experience. I walked away with so many different kind of opinions about it that I don't want to share because then I'll give up the whole movie and the allegories. Like, what am I doing?
Well, let me ask you something else then. You just said you experienced postpartum depression after your second child. Can you talk to me a little bit about what that looked like for you? And I guess that must have been surprising, perhaps, because
because I was ready and I knew what I was doing and I felt more confident. I definitely didn't expect. I just expected to feel the way I did with my first, which I feel like it should just be said. I think postpartum is just a physical experience that happens to everybody. I mean, your hormones are doubling every day in your first trimester, and then those hormones plummet after you have a baby. They plummet again when you wean. So my experience with my second was I felt like a tiger was chasing me every day. I've had so much anxiety. I had nonstop intrusive thoughts that I was just like at the whim of. They like controlled me.
fear about your child, fear about yourself.
Yeah, it was fear about my child, just picturing every worst case scenario, and then just doubting everything that I was doing, everything that and then I was already in therapy, but I got on a drug called Zurzuvae, and I took it for 2 weeks, and it really helped me. So if anybody is having postpartum Zurzuvae, I'm not paid by them, but they could maybe throw me something.
But that helped.
Yeah, I went on a pill that was designed for postpartum. I took it for 2 weeks, and it helped a lot.
I'm a parent myself, and also someone who's suffered from mental illness, PTSD, and other things. And so, I was watching the film, and again, I think what's really powerful about the film is that it can speak to different things that people have experienced. There's the universality of course, anyone who's been a parent and a mother, but also just anyone who's struggled with their mental health. Have you, other than that time of postpartum depression, struggled with sort of mental health issues, things like that helped you sort of understand the character a little better?
Yeah, I've struggled with anxiety for most of my life, and anxiety's close friend is normally depression because by the end of the day you're so exhausted from the adrenal burnout that you just kind of plummet and get really sad from that. So I've struggled with that before. I think more of what I kind of brought into the headspace is the feeling of just never feeling like you're doing it right. Like I just kind of live in guilt and just, is this the right breakfast? Is this what we should be talking about on the way home from school? I just kind of am always worried that I'm failing them. And I can keep myself from being swallowed by that because I know I'm a good mom and I know my kids are happy and I have a great husband and I have great support at home. So I can do a reality check and be like, everybody's okay. You're just spinning. But she can't and she doesn't. And so she really just goes there. So that was kind of very easy for me to follow that
spiral.
Kind of, spin down the drain.
The other thing that she sort of deals with is a loss of her creative self that is also really hard. I mean, one of the things that I think as mothers you can feel often is just how your child seems to just leech all of the all of the energy, all of the feeling of motivation out of you, and you just kind of give it all to them. And as someone who is in a creative field, as an actor, I mean, was that something that you kind of were able to connect with?
Yeah. I mean, having kids is sacrificial and it's gratifying and it's amazing and rewarding. It's all of the things, but it's not sacrificial. And I've never had to say no to something before that I really wanted to do. I could just go do it. I do wrestle with, it feels vain and selfish that I love being a creative person as much as I do. My kids and my family are more important, obviously, but they feel like equal parts of me, like an equal part. Like I would not be complete if I couldn't make movies. I just wouldn't.
Mm.
And on the one hand, like when I had my son, my firstborn, I was like, being an actress is the perfect job for being a hands-on mom. Like I can go years without working. I can be so hands-on, you know, and then I go work a little bit, they visit, yada, yada, yada. And like, this is perfect. And then now I'm realizing, I'm like, oh, that was COVID. And you are quite busy. And so I'm kind of reckoning with that, and have been, of just like, how much is it okay to love this and not want to give it up? So I definitely relate to that. I found the opposite problem with creativity. I had so much anxiety when my second was born that the only way I could escape was in stories and books,
Mm.
and in particular, the American Revolution. And so I really lost myself in kind of ideas. And that's always been how I digest feelings.